Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. Today we're talking, you guys, because an article came out a couple of days ago that we need to discuss, and it is coming from none other than Crystal Jordan, who has reported frequently on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She also is a YouTuber who is interviewed frequently many people from the OWN network, including Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she's had some interesting articles over the years as it pertains to the show, as it pertains to certain cast members, and all of the things. You'll remember infamously she had that article last November where she basically said that Mel weaponized her pain, her cheating, and everything else to have a successful reality show. But nonetheless, in this article, we are going to talk about what she just put out the other day. And it says, is it really over, you guys? That's what I'm saying. But her title says, Love and Marriage Huntsville may not survive another season, you guys. And it says, reality ratings are based off of toxic relationships and scandals. Carlos King's Love and Marriage Huntsville became OWN's #1 series because of the marital breakdown of star couple Martell Holt and Melody Rogers. Introduced as a series celebrating Black excellence, entrepreneurship, and marriage, Love and Marriage Huntsville focused on 3 successful couples that partnered in real estate ventures, which we do not even see anymore on the show. Marceau and Letitia Scott represented the more traditional family, while Maurice and Kimmy Scott offered a more of a contemporary option with a blended family. Audiences were hesitant to embrace the series as Huntsville, Alabama was not known for being spicy or even interesting, but King knew the internal friction between the couples and the spouses would produce reality gold. And while it was the catalyst for the show's success, it has since become its downfall. Melody and Martell's divorce had lasting effects on the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast. Carlos's intuition was correct, and the first season of Love and Marriage Huntsville sparked curiosity into OWN's audience as viewers tried to figure out why the couples had so much internal tension. From the first episode, it was clear Martell and Melody's marriage had been affected by infidelity. Melody wasn't shy about dropping tea about their marriage within the group, which created tension among the other couples. As the seasons continued, audiences became more invested in the 3 core marriages, so much so that by the time Melody revealed that Martell had got his mistress pregnant, there was a public outcry of anger towards him. The breakdown of the Holtz marriage had an immediate domino effect on the rest of the cast. The relationship between the women became strained as Mel insinuated the other wives dealing with philandering husbands as well. Carlos, the Scott brothers, Marceau, and Maurice regarded Mel's insinuations with a grain of salt. The rumors surrounding Marceau grew louder and louder. Wait. Mel didn't start the rumors. That was Martell. See, we're already down the wrong road. We are already down the wrong road, you guys. Letitia ignored the allegations of everyone on the outside, but was unable to escape Melody's disapproving energy. Letitia worked up to become more independent, earning another degree and focusing more on business outside of the home to her husband's displeasure. Unfortunately, the breakdown of Mel and Martell created a lasting rift between the other couples. The breakdown of the Holtz created a rift between both the men and the women on the show until 8 seasons later. Not only are the Holtz officially divorced, but the remaining cast remain at odds. There are always fallouts among reality casts, but the current situation on Love and Marriage Huntsville is unique as there are no alliances or even strong friendships. Without long-standing relationships to offset the severed ones, it's hard to imagine how audiences will remain connected to the series. Carlos may need to start over with a new principal cast or abandon Huntsville altogether. Martell and Marceau's friendship was irretrievably severed years ago. Relationships among women are usually up and down on reality television, but seldom do men get involved in the antics. After fathering an outside child and divorcing his wife, Martell has embraced... Whoa. Mel filed for divorce from Martell. Martell has embraced the bad boy role assigned to him by Love and Marriage Huntsville fans. He jokes about the divorce, and although he's expressed regret over the actions that led to losing his family, his actions don't reflect true repentance. A brief fling with Real Housewives of Lamh, Cherie Whitfield, well, that turned out to be a business arrangement, according to court documents, is just one of the many women Martel has been linked with since his marriage officially ended. Martel's resurgence to a bachelor's lifestyle has put pressure on the other men in Huntsville. Marceau denies any infidelity, but doesn't shy away from making a tongue-in-cheek references to the allegations. Maurice teases that the allegations about his brother, but denies any wrongdoing on his part. The brothers began distancing themselves from Martel after his divorce. I don't know about that. I call cap. Hoping to persuade fans and their wives that they have nothing in common with Martel and his playboy ways. After Mel and Martel see, I'm already getting agitated, you guys. I'm getting agitated. It says, and I quote, after Melody had Martel arrested, you guys. Really? For threatening to release Revenge P. Marceau spoke with bloggers against Martel's actions. Martel confronted Marceau, but this was not the first confrontation between the two. Several seasons prior, Mel got into a verbal altercation with Miss Phony Unhooked, Letitia's mother, and Martel jumped in to defend Melody, and Marceau stepped in to defend his mother-in-law. The two alpha males never resolved their conflict, but instead retreated to their respective corners, created an ever-growing chasm in the group. As Love and Marriage Huntsville prepares to finish out the current season, the tension between Martel and Marceau threatens to boil over with a physical confrontation. A bigger scandal stole the spotlight from Melody and Martel this season. Season 8 start. Let me guess what they're going to say is the bigger scandal, you guys. They're going to say Sonny, Moses, and Destiny. Let's clock it. All right, let's see what they say the biggest scandal is. Season 8 started with Melody versus Martel, but their drama took a backseat to the scandal of a producer stealing the love interest of a cast member. Here we go. I wonder who that is, you guys. Sonny Meeks was a producer on the show, assigned to Destiny Payton. Sonny took her job as a producer to heart, befriending Destiny and even agreeing to manage her music career post Love and Marriage Huntsville. When Destiny's relationship with her on-again and off-again boyfriend Moses started struggling, Sonny swooped in and in less than 90 days married Destiny's ex. Sonny defended her action by claiming befriending Destiny wasn't genuine, but instead a part of her job description as a producer. What? She claimed to never fully like Destiny and was disgusted by her neglect by her then boyfriend Moses. Sonny laughed at the coincidence off, claiming that her newfound love with Moses was the couple's destiny and suggested Destiny move on and find her own happiness elsewhere. Sonny cutthroat behavior was rewarded by Carlos with a primary spot on the show and the opportunity to move from behind the cameras to the front and center of the juiciest storyline of the show, but it's not juicy is the problem. Needless to say, the scandal split the cast again, with Melly sweeping in to Sonny's defense, and while Kimmy and Letitia supported a very scorned Destiny. Stormy Steele and her husband, Courtney Beasley, came into the show as friends of Melody, but that relationship was short-lived. Well, yeah, because you're friends, BFFs, with Martel's mistress, of course that's going to be short-lived. And of course your mom hates everybody, so therefore that was never going to survive. After Stormy and Melody's friendship disintegrated, Stormy looked for other couples to connect with. Unfortunately, Stormy and Letitia immediately clashed, but even worse than their disagreements was Stormy's blatant lack of respect for Marceau. Stormy called Marceau a bleep several times, ending any possibility that the couple could resolve their differences and driving a dangerous wedge between Courtney and Marceau. Never one to admit defeat, executive producer Carlos King brought another couple onto the show to create synergy. Actually, it was to create chaos. Instead of bringing the group closer, the Chris and Nell Fletcher's arrival created tension among the couples as Nell vocalized her disapproval at Melody's choice to have Martel arrested. Here we go. Chris's condescending views on Martel's antics and cold shoulder towards the Scotts threw additional salt in the wounds and worked to alienate them from the rest of the cast. A new scandalous couple was added to Love and Marriage Huntsville this season. Oh, let me guess, Trisha and her harem. Let's talk about it. In a last-ditch effort, one more couple was added to the show. Jim Ratz, Trish, Annette, and Ken Lee were added to round out the cast, but instead may prove to be the nail in Love and Marriage Huntsville's coffin. Not only are Trish and Ken not married, but Trish joined the cast still legally married to her estranged husband, Marquez. Trisha was quick to share that her dilemma with the ladies who bit their tongues but exchanged disapproving glances at one another while listening to Trisha's story. If her estranged marriage and new live-in boyfriend wasn't enough, Trisha hinted at a past entanglement with Martell during the time of his separation from Melody. He wasn't separated, you guys. Stormy picked up on the inconsistencies in Trish and Martell's recollection of their past interaction, but that information was yet to be shared with Mel. Carlos has woven a tangled mess of infidelity, divorce, and jealousy with the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, which has resulted in the show being a constant trending topic on social media and various blog sites. In order for the series to continue, viewers will need to see the drama, but will also need some relationships repaired for the sake of continuity. On the recent drama-filled girls' trip to the Virgin Islands, Mel flew in 2 personal friends just to have personal support, as she is at odds with the women in the cast. Directly or indirectly, the breakdown of Melody and Martell's marriage has resulted in the entire group turning on itself. Reality shows need the balance of scandals and breakups juxtaposed against long-standing friendships and alliances that serve as the glue that keeps the audiences rooting for change. The divorce of 2 principal cast members was devastating, but the problem with Love and Marriage Huntsville is that the friendships of the women were irreparably damaged due to betrayal stemming from Martell's cheating. Melody felt betrayed, but not only by her husband, but also by the women who claimed to be her friends during her 14 marriage. Instead of supporting Martell through his divorce, Marceau and Maurice have used his failure to highlight their own successes, destroying the opportunity to show how men can support one another through trauma and build one another up. If Carlos can't restructure the cast with a balance of positives and negatives, the interest in the show may fizzle out completely. Well, the interest is already fizzled out, is the problem. Reality fans are fickle and love to dish about betrayal, affairs, and breakups, but what makes these negatives so fun to watch are the strong relationships they threaten and ultimately are unable to break. And then, of course, it has information about where you can watch the show. So here's my thing. I feel as though, again, some people may have, forgotten how we got here. And this notion of let's just blame Mel on everything is just getting old. It's getting tired. It's getting stale. And it's funny because the demise of Mel and Tell is being blamed, but at the same token, Mel didn't even want to film the show when she found out her husband was cheating. She told Carlos King and other people she wanted to take a break and see whether or not she could salvage this marriage rather than put it on blast on a reality show. But guess who convinced her this would be good for reality TV? This would be good. You'd have people sympathetic to you. You'd be able to share your real story. Carlos King was salivating at the opportunity to see yet another black woman humiliated on national television, having another cheating spouse, and all of the things happen, and was hoping to allegedly get the mistress on there. And also, I want to know what fallout is being discussed in this article regarding the men, because the men very much were still pro Martell, even during the divorce, even after the divorce. The only time they briefly pretended to be against Martell was when we now know and it had nothing to do with the arrest for the revenge P. We have now known that per the trailer, it's because Martell makes accusations against Tisha, alleging that Tisha hooked up with Marceau's friend, and Martell making the allegation that their alleged freak-off sessions were done together, meaning that Martell and Marceau were hooking up with the same women at the same room at the same time, and that's when Maurice was like, like, please stop, right? Please do not say anymore, right? But this notion that Mel's the reason that anybody else's alleged cheating has come to light, it started with Martell. Martell was the one that was spreading and alleging that Marceau had 20 girlfriends. That came from Martell's mouth. And then Tisha decided to confront Mel about it, but then decided to get spicy and wanted to gaslight Mel about Martell and the mistress having matching BMWs. And wanted to gaslight further by talking to Kimmy in a scene about threatening to show pictures of who the side chick is. And shortly after, we all, of course, unfortunately, had to discover who the side chick was, who was up here going to put up a post in her little bun, and it's like, oh, I'm who you're looking for. But we weren't looking for you. We weren't. We were not. But it's interesting that they're taking this approach. Here's the problem, right? The show could survive without Mel and Tel being together. However, what usually happens on most shows, like Housewives, is when there is a divorce, the husband is no longer in the mix on the show. It usually shows the wife, the ex-wife, moving on, living her life, managing her kids, all of these things. It also didn't help matters that we aren't seeing much of the family aspect of the whole family because Martel decided that if he could not profit off of his kids, he didn't want anybody else to, which meant that he did not want them filming on the show anymore. Because he didn't want them to get any positive exposure if he was not linked to the success as well. And to be petty and hoping that that was going to be a negative or a detriment to Mel, but it ended up being a detriment to himself because, Martel, you have no storyline outside of bashing Mel and reliving your glory days and alleged freak-offs with your comrades on the show. But I also blame the cast because they chose to basically make their identity hiding behind Mel and Tel's issues and making their entire existence about, whether they're Team Martel or Team Mel. You got Kimmy, you got Tisha talking about how Martel's a good man and they've never seen him really be a bad person and all these things. And then Kimmy saying, well, maybe Mel did cheat too. You got all of these people who are supposed to be friends with the group taking sides, and by taking sides, I mean standing behind Martel. And just making it look like, oh my gosh, Mel caused her own cheating. Mel caused all of this stuff to happen to herself. And she deserves no sympathy. She deserves no empathy. She deserves zero grace and all of these things. And so Mel's like, you guys really have the audacity. And it's interesting that people want to bring up, oh, Mel was trying to make sure everybody else divorced their husbands or wanted everybody else to be miserable and blah, 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 blah. But it was Martel's mistress that got on Tasha K and alleged that the other men were cheating with linebackers and posted the picture receipt to prove that she was out in these Atlanta streets with the Scott brothers and Martel, as she alleged they had Airbnbs and they were all messing with linebackers together. And you guys were joking about that on the show. Kimmy was joking, oh, maybe this happened before we were married and all these things. And, Marceau, he's always going to give a little spice, like, well, that's for me to know and for you to find out. That's for me, to answer. And that's my business if I did do something or whatever. But never flat out denying any cheating of any sort, right? Which should tell you everything you need to know that, yes, if I did cheat, guess what? I'm not going anywhere, basically. But you can just say that, without all the gaslighting, right? But nonetheless, the show never developed. And once they latched on to all of the drama and Mel and Tel, people, decided, hey, we're not going to share our lives. We're not going to share our lawsuits. We're not going to share the liens. We're not going to share all of these things that we truly got going on, because as long as we can continue to give commentary on Mel and Tel's drama, that hides us from our real issues. And that's why people went digging. Because people were sick of you guys having all this to say about Mel and Tel and telling us zero information about yourselves. And then you guys wanted to get buddy-buddy with certain bloggers to try to put out more slander against Mel in hopes that that was going to change the tide and change the direction of things. And then it became a whole social media battle where people were just posting anything on social media and claiming that they had tea and claiming that they had all this inside information and claiming that people were not seeing the real Mel and all of these things, and everything was going to be exposed. Everything was going to be coming to light, which we still have not seen to this day. All we've just seen is so many people being two-faced and being messy and having nothing to contribute to the show any longer. And then once Mel saw through the nonsense and decided that she wanted no parts of the comeback group anymore, you guys failed to try to do the comeback group anyways without her, and it flopped. It flopped. So nonetheless, we're back to square one. And you guys even tried as well. You were upset that Mel didn't want to be a part of the 40 acres deal, which meant none of you were going to be a part of the 40 acres deal. You guys wanted Mel, just like Martell wants Mel, to use her for her connections and all of the business opportunities and things that she has that lead to her success. You want to use her for that in hopes that you can line your own pockets. And then when it doesn't happen, you go on a Mel bash session. You go on a Mel slander session. But you want us to you want to twist it around and make it seem as though this is Mel's, being difficult, or Mel's the problem, or all these things. No. Mel saw scammers firsthand. Mel saw grifters firsthand and said, no. You're not going to take advantage of me. And all of y'all sat here and, had all these spicy things to say about me behind my back. But now when you need me, when you need financial help, or when you need to hit a lick and get a successful thing going, now you want to be cool with me? Oh, no. And then the biggest issue at all is the daily effort that Stormy's mom and Letitia's mom and Marceau's brother continue to do on the internet, you guys. Continue to devote 24/7 of bashing Mel and also bashing her mom unprovoked and getting content creators involved in the bashing unprovoked. And it has nothing to do with anything other than a lot of you pretended to be Mel fans. A lot of you pretended to be Melimeters. A lot of you thought that because Mel was being nice to, some of the people and all the things, and giving some people access and all these things, you thought that that was going to be you too. You thought you were going to get the exclusives, you were going to get the freebies, you were going to get the interviews, you were going to get all this clout, you were going to get all these things. And then when it didn't work out for you, you start bashing her. Now all of a sudden you have all this tea. Now all of a sudden you want to be friends with the cast and, talk about how horrible Mel is. But she wasn't horrible when you felt that she was a benefit to you, when you thought that Mel could get you into some doors, into Hollywood, into the entertainment industry, into whatever you were looking to gain off of that connection. But now you've devoted 24/7 to just bashing Mel, just to bash her, and it looks unhinged. But nobody, like I said, this cast, they did this in. And Carlos King didn't help matters. He keeps thinking, Messy Mondays isn't conflict of interest. Yes, it is. Because if it was just about the commentary and giving a reaction to the episode is one thing, but you framed your entire existence in reality TV on playing favorites and playing people against each other. So it was obvious when your slanted views are always about praising Martell no matter what and making Mel look like the issue no matter what, it was obvious to fans that the Messy Mondays was really just an extended session for you to push out a certain agenda. And then the ultimate agenda this season of just trying to attack Mel from all angles, including attacking Mel supporters and the Melimeters all season, which turned out to be an absolute flop. You're now trying to redirect and regroup and repackage this show with a rushed last minute 15 episodes of trying to make something of the season. No. So we will see, you guys, whether or not, because I believe it was in December of last year was when they announced that they would order more episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But that was for this current season and back half that's going to be coming back here in November. We have not heard anything as of yet about any actual renewal. So nonetheless, this show very much is on thin ice. But let Carlos King tell it, there's mystery ratings of 1.3 million L3 demographic and all these things that have yet to see any, relevant statistics to match this to be produced. But nonetheless, you guys, it wouldn't surprise me if this show did not get renewed. It also would not surprise me if what OWN does is they renew like an abbreviated season. If the ratings can come back to, you know, that 250,000 or get close to 300,000 or over 300,000 for the reunion, they would like maybe do like a half season or whatever, a half season to see whether or not the show can survive and get renewed again. But honestly, it's gotten too dark. It's gotten too toxic. You know, people are suing each other left and right. People are doxing each other. People are going after people's personal information. People are stalking each other. People are taking this show way too personal for people you don't even know. And it's ruined the experience for the actual fan. Every season, all the fans have been trying to do is provide positive feedback and critical suggestions and valued opinions on the show. But Carlos King, you can't disrespect your fans. You can't disrespect the demographic that is keeping the lights on at OWN for the show to continue and expect people to still tune in. It doesn't work that way. So nonetheless, you're in limbo. All of your shows are in limbo because, like you even said, Bold and Bougie has yet to be renewed. And that show had even lower ratings than Love and Marriage Huntsville. And things are so bad this season with Love and Marriage Huntsville, there's episodes that couldn't even register on the Nielsen box. That wasn't even high enough to be one of the shows even documented as the top hundreds of shows to watch. In the top 70 cable shows, in the top 150. It couldn't even register. The ratings were so low. And the ratings are lower than ever this season because the people are tired. But it was your own cast members, i.e. Marceau, that decided before the season even began to gaslight Mel supporters and gaslight the Millimeters and say that anytime that people claim that they're going to boycott the show, that's when the ratings tune in, that anytime, you know, Mel's not the focus of the show, that's when people actually watch the show, except for you have one egg on your face now. And you were saying you didn't need all the support to come to Black with the QUE and all these things. But yet now you need fan support to buy your little Black Neek event that's coming up, right? So which is it? You didn't need the fans, or do you? But nonetheless, everybody has a role to play in the demise of this show by not sharing their lives and continuing to have Martell, you know, be a focal point of the show just wasn't a good look. I don't care how charismatic he is or how he seemingly can look like he gets along with the cast better than Mel does. We don't know if that's blackmail or what the rationale behind that is. Or because Martell allegedly has everyone else's secrets and threatens to expose them, that they just fall in line. But it's not normal for a reality show for, you know, somebody to be forced to be presented with a reminder of their trauma on a daily basis. And it shouldn't have had to take this long for Mel to finally not have to film scenes with Martell anymore. But enough is enough with the gaslighting and trying to frame this all as Mel's fault. Mel didn't cheat on Martell. Mel didn't want to bring this onto the show. Mel wanted to delay the filming of the show in hopes that this was going to work itself out and the cheating was going to be done for good. And even when Mel took Martell back, which I don't know why it's being judged, because many people take back their cheating spouses and boyfriends all the time, but you just now want to have a gotcha moment because it's Mel, she genuinely thought that Martell was done cheating. She genuinely thought that he got it all out of his system, that he saw the bigger picture of the success of the show, and that they could truly be a family and a power couple and a force to be reckoned with and come out on the other side of this. She was not expecting to see this mistress continuing to do lives calling the show fake and that it's not real, hindering the integrity of the show. But of course, Carlos King isn't going to say anything because it's coming from Martell's camp. But if Mel or somebody else calls the show fake or calls the show edited, he has a whole conniption about it. But Marceau can say the show's a reenactment. Martell can call the show and say that everybody's acting and all these things, and it is crickets. But nonetheless, if the show really is over, like I said, Carlos King and others have nobody to blame but themselves, and we'll continue to monitor this. We will continue to monitor to see whether or not they order more episodes of the show, but as of now, it has not been renewed. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.